Appreciate you for tuning in to the Theory Expo. If you enjoy the content we're doing, please like and subscribe. And on that note, let's get to it.
Yeah. I'm nervous now. Yeah, I am nervous about that.
And nervous is relative. Nervous is relative. That's
Right,
what makes you look at it like, oh man, is it even like?
Man.
And I don't even want them to do a kind of what they did at Comic-Con, where it was like they threw some things out, and then they gave us like kind of the shiny object at the end with the timeline. The timeline was what got us like, oh damn, Secret Wars, oh damn, Avengers, Avengers 1, and they're gonna do all this and all that. I think we'll definitely and kind of transition into that. I definitely think from Star Wars, from Lucasfilm, I was like, we're probably gonna get a full trailer for that, and I think they're gonna finally release that Mando trailer.
Yeah, we're gonna get that.
I think we're gonna get the Mando trailer. You saying, I love your term. You're the first person that said this, the Mando verse, because it just really is a Mando verse.
It is, man. It's
a Mando verse.
It's his verse.
It's a Mando.
Yeah. I mean, everything is being made from his show, from the Mandalorian. So it's like they're building this, and they'll say like, in public, they'll say, "Continue the story. We're continuing the story,
the saga.
We're continuing the saga." You found a pocket after Return of the Jedi. You found it. You created an original character. Everything's kind of orbiting around that character now. And you're even going to you introduce Ahsoka, and now Ahsoka's going to introduce Thrawn. This is the Mando verse.
I've seen they cast
Ezra. I saw that, man. You want to pull that up? You want to share? You want to share? I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, but yeah, if you want to pull that up.
Yeah, he looked like him too. Like when his face was shaved.
Yeah, he did. Man. He got the nose and everything. From what I saw.
Ezra.
I know he got Ezra Bridger. Ezra Miller.
Like, I ain't want to see Ezra
Miller. He got a real world name. Ezra Bridger.
Yeah, I'm about to show it right.
Yeah, man. I think they nailed it, bro.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about dude's work.
I have no idea who he is. He looked like he got a name in mind.
It looks like they was trying to hire, because you see some of the people that were in the running, and like all of them will have that kind of like you say Middle Eastern kind of touch to
cool. Yeah. I think they found one right here, man.
I saw it side by side. They like show like I was like, man, they was like one person that said like only thing he gotta do is change his eye color.
That's it, bro. He got it. He got the nose, the eyebrows, bro, the hair. He didn't even gotta change his hair. He's Ezra Bridger.
That's like now the one that left had the season, but like early Ezra, this is him.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So you got to remember, if he's going to be gone for a while, if Thrawn had got him, and him and Thrawn went on whatever they went to, but if they have obviously they've been whatever portal dimension, whatever they went to, obviously his hair going to grow again. So when they find him, they can he can have that hair situation. I think they nailed it with that. Like I said, I don't know nothing about his acting chops. I don't know anything about that.
I don't know.
From the looks of it.
Yeah, this is Ezra Bridger.
That's Ezra.
Don't know. Yeah, it's gonna come down to just give him his lightsaber, that little weird ass lightsaber he got. That little box.
We put it on the clip.
Yeah,
he got the gun.
I hate it. It's my least favorite lightsaber ever in the entire universe Star Wars. But yeah, man, give him his weird ass lightsaber, and we're gonna find out what happened to Ezra Bridger, man. I hope he play a big part, man. In the
Filoni's too. This Filoni's too.
Filoni, bro.
Like Filoni.
Oh, this is guy. This is guy. Yeah.
This Filoni show. Like,
This
ain't no messing around. We got like,
bro, that's his character.
This his show.
He do.
That's why when he
asked anything for the Ahsoka.
Whenever people ask like if such gonna show up in this, it's gonna show up. They like, nah, look, they not gonna take that. So it's like, what's the next one coming up? And I'm looking forward to it. The Andor coming up in a couple weeks. They not letting nobody show up that ain't showed up in Filoni's joint. We think we gonna see. Could we see Ezra? Could we see Sabine? Could we see? Nah, they first time showing up is a Filoni situation. They not showing up in that. They not showing up because it's their time, right? Probably not this season that they going to. Whenever they get to season 2 of Andor, and then they might show up in season 2. But they would have already shown up in Ahsoka. I keep saying her name, Ahsoka. They're gonna show up, and they're gonna show up in Ahsoka first before they would even show their face in an Andor show.
That's fine.
Echo, stop. Let me mute this. You're talking for. Yeah, but go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask you. So you think, bro? Do you think they're gonna get a spinoff of some type, or I would think that they would if these two characters, these two actors hit it off with those roles.
Could Ezra get a spinoff?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I think he right.
Oh man, I ain't even think of that.
I think he definitely getting one, right? Because it's
I ain't
like,
even think of that. Hell yeah, he getting a spinoff. They didn't sign him. He young too. Young man. And it's Ezra. Now you know I'm extra hype because, as you know, Rebels is my thing. But yeah, that makes too much sense. Like, no, Ezra Bridger getting his own show. They don't kill him in the damn thing, right?
Yeah. I hope they don't kill him.
They don't kill him in the
because they've been kind of waiting on this. So
yeah, it was a big deal.
And like literally in life, you know what I mean? So I would think he would come back. You know, he would have to. It would be some reconciling with his experience. But I think he's gonna get a spinoff. I don't think you're gonna just carry everything off of Ahsoka. What's her name?
Sabine.
Sabine. Like you're just So I think Ezra would carry the show eventually, and Sabine will be a part of it. Yeah, man.
Sabine gonna have to deal with that. The weirdest thing about it that's gonna happen is if Sabine show up in Mando 3, because that's gonna be pretty much that's just gonna be Bo-Katan's show, season 3, right? It's gonna be about her, right? Because she gonna want whatever she gonna like as far as like the black saber, then like Mandalore, right? She may want her for real. See that they gonna butt heads about what they need to do with man. It's gonna be about her. Sabine may have to. Sabine, they had smoke in Rebels, so like realistically, Sabine may have to show up in Mando season 3. She may show up at the end, or Ahsoka gonna show up.
Yeah, Sabine might be the Mandalore
because she didn't want that shit, but she knew how to handle it. She can handle the saber. She can handle the saber. Like
there's no indication that
she gave that shit up.
That what's her name?
Because that's a
Bo-Katan can, right? Like,
that was a thread in Rebels, because she's like, look, y'all keep talking this. I don't even really want this. Here you go. But you ain't supposed to get the black saber. You got to win it in battle.
Winning in battle.
Bo-Katan got it twice, and she never won it in battle.
Never won it in battle. That's a problem, right?
That's why she only got it the once. What's the name? Mando kept it.
It was given to her. Okay, yeah. So it was offered to her twice. She took it from Sabine Wren, and when Mando offered it, she's been there before, bro. That shit don't work. I can't take it like that. Especially when Moff Gideon called it out.
Yeah, and Moff ended up with it. So how did it get to a situation where she didn't have it, or did she just like, I didn't win it? I don't know. I can't remember the story. Like then when she could, because at some point in time, Moff got it.
Well, remember, Rebels take place obviously before the trilogy. So at some point during the trilogy,
exactly,
and the bomb in the Mandalore he gets. So it's probably like after she had
the bomb in the Mandalore.
Yeah, after she went into hiding because her Mandalore was destroyed, and they scattered all the families around.
Facts.
All the clans around. He must have got it. So he didn't. But he
ain't shit. He ain't got no he'll hold nothing to it. But yeah, so like something got to happen. But you're right. So was gonna be that kind of conflict. But I can see Sabine showing up that. But to your original question, I feel like that makes too much sense. He gonna show.
Yeah, I just don't see him being a side character. Ahsoka's show. I think eventually I'll give him his own show, unless he's just not that strong of an actor, which could be the case where he can't carry a show.
I'm gonna tell you this though.
Diego Luna got it.
I'm gonna tell you this though, and what that's gonna be. It ain't gonna be his own show until the end. When they come up with that trash ass lightsaber, it's probably gonna be in my background. When they come up with that trash saber, it's probably gonna be in my background.
I hate it, but
I might have to add it.
Somebody offered it. If somebody offered it to me, I'll be like, I'm taking that. You know what I mean? Because I don't like it, but it is part of Star. Yeah, saber like it's not even. You know what I mean? Like I got the Luke joint back here.
I keep trying to get. Man, you got
this right here.
Yeah.
This is different. You know what I mean? This is saber. You know what I mean?
Legacy. That's legacy.
Legacy right here. But Ezra shit is like
it's not.
Ezra shit look like a tape player.
It looked like some
like an old Walkman and shit.
Like something that should have been in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
Peter Quill might have had it. But I was about to ask you about this. Does the Star Wars, because the Star Wars run into a problem that kind of like MCU has, right? Could possibly have, right? When you start like bringing again, like we talked about with the Eternals, is like, what have you been doing that entire time, right? They tried to answer real quick, but it was still a big thing. Like you've been here the entire time, and then we get to the point where you talk about when you get back to the Fantastic Four, that's going to be the thing. Were you already here, or are we portal bringing you in, or not portal, but like you came in from you coming in from another timeline or multiverse, and you could be one of the reasons we haven't incursion. But ultimately, you have to explain were they here or not. The Star Wars start having the problem when this one is easy with Ezra Bridger. We saw him get taken away, so he ain't been around. He wasn't around during the OT. He wasn't there.
Nah.
But what was Sabine doing?
Right. Apparently looking for Ezra.
Yeah, like,
but it's
so
like
then bring Sabine. Did you not bring back Hera? Right, old girl with the you know what I'm saying?
Oh, with
the captain.
yeah.
You not bring back Hera? Like
what?
Because they but it was her and
she
Ahsoka
stayed in fault though. Then she stayed in fault, right?
She stayed, right? She stayed.
She was in Rogue One,
but Ashley was. But Ahsoka and Sabine went looking for Ezra, right? Then the Rebels. But then we run up on Ahsoka and the Mandalorian, and she's still looking, but she's not with her home. So then we have to explain, like, if we start trying to bring in people that was around during that time, like, well, we're gonna do a trash, because we give them a trash response, like, oh, I was on Tatooine, I was on,
we done been
hold
through
on,
2 Death Stars now.
Where
you at?
Not to say that they was pivotal when helping. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to compare them to like what Fantastic Four would, or what should have been, what Eternals should have been doing, or had the capability to do. But like, where and how do you ultimately, and if they want to bring back any of those other kind of random, even pivotal characters that may have showed up in that show.
Great question.
This one's easy, but then it's like, damn, you got Ezra. You might need to bring. We got to see her at some point in time. Are we seeing some earlier people? Like, what are we? And then now we're gonna change the topic. You know what I kind of want to see? Because I just rewatched the second trilogy.
What do you mean, the sequel trilogy or
the sequel trilogy? I just watched the sequel trilogies recently. Yeah. I just did a rewatch, and I finally watched Solo too. I had never watched Solo.
Oh yeah, it's pretty decent. Actually.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. It's not, sometimes when you watch them later and it's not at the time, so you definitely don't have the expectations that you would have had at the time.
Yeah,
like it was something. It was cool to watch.
Not bad.
It made me want to watch a Crimson Dawn show that they ain't put out yet. But that's a whole nother conversation, right? But that's to that point. Like, if they're gonna keep making these shows and they're gonna keep doing things, I actually kind of want to know now, how did the Rebellion get so trash again right before the sequel trilogy? Because they were terrible.
Question.
They wasn't even really a rebellion no more. They should have been back to the point where they were a Senate and they had a whole
they were
republic again.
Yeah, no, they were pretty much dissolved, right? Because they disbanded because you don't need a rebellion.
Facts.
They the majority now. They're the leading power now. So there's no more if anything, the Empire becomes the remnant, right? They're the remnant. They use that term a lot in the book, remnant, Imperial remnant, right? So basically what's left over of the Empire, and the Republic, the rebels become the new Republic. Remember, you had the old Republic prequels, right? So now the new Republic, rebel. There's no more rebel alliance. What are they rebelling?
Facts.
So yeah, that's always a good question, man. Like, what happened to y'all? And they kind of explained it through books where they kind of become complacent. Where Leia wants to continue to I think Leia tried to step up in leadership, but they got her out of there by bringing up her lineage to Darth Vader.
Oh, I did hear. Okay.
Yeah, so
now
it's
you talking my memory, that was a problem because of her lineage.
They didn't have the right people in there, so it kind of, and they didn't take the threats of the New Order. Sorry, I hate the sequel trilogy, but it's I think that's sort of how they explain it away, is that
they just didn't have the people back them. They almost fell back into that same trap that a place building, because it's obvious when you watch them again. Wow, y'all, they built a whole First Order with stormtroopers and everything. literally wash, rinse, repeat. They did the exact same thing.
Yeah, bro.
But
if you look at the my bad to cut you off, not to cut you off, but if you look at the if you read the book, what they call Legends now. When I read the books, what they were saying, they basically, because it wasn't over after the Death Star, they still had to fight a war with what was left of the Empire. They still had to seize control of, because it wasn't like the Empire just was all right, we surrender, we giving up all our territories that we had. It's nah, you still had to fight for that. So the war continued on, and they eventually won back those planets and stuff and so if you go off the book, it's clear in the sequel trilogy, if you go off the books, it was more so okay, they got it to a point where the Empire was still around, but they were the remnant, and then they eventually get evaded again by a species called the Uzan Vogue who come in and they invade them. They from like the outer rim or whatever, basically the outside.
Hey man, everything happened on the outer rim.
Yeah. So
That's
yeah,
what
right. And they even use that. Yeah, they even
Yeah.
use that in the. It's like the outer rim is always like care about the outer rim because we
No.
never been out there, But the outer rim, they get this new target, and that's where I think the sequel trilogy failed was that threat. You said, it's like repeat with the Empire. It was called the New Order, but in the books they had a new threat, and that through that new threat, bring the galaxy together, left of the Empire and Jedi Order and the New Republic all together. But it's kind of like it's kind of like a tale, like where you kind of like it's kind of like a how can I? There's a lesson to it because it's like it sort of shows you like the old Republic failed, the New Republic fails. It's always like a need for order. That's why you order. That's why you had the Empire because it's like they always end up getting into trouble trying to run the galaxy on the Republic, and it's happened throughout time, right? Like even if you go back to the old Republic, you had the Republic in the
the High Republic, was it?
You had the High. They call it the High Republic. So yeah, so it's like the Republic always fails. So
and that's where the Acolyte's supposed to be. The High Republic. It was the old Republic, right?
Speaking of that, yeah. Acolyte, yeah.
And we looking at this from the side of the Sith, right? Like we see the rise of the Sith. That's interesting, man.
Yeah, speaking of that, did you see who they cast as the lead, the male lead?
I saw they get the guy from Squid. I know the guy from Squid Game. I didn't think he was being
okay.
Lead.
Yeah, okay. So the guy from Squid Games,
there's a
Squid Game is the male lead. Now that's interesting because that's like weird wording because I'm like I initially thought that the main character was female, right? Was a woman, right?
It's a woman because then they just signed somebody else from the sister from it that was in that she been in a couple movies. I remember her from the Michael B. Jordan. Remember he had that movie the Amazon Prime movie, and I think she was in something in MCU too. I can't remember
African or the British chick.
So they got Amanda Stenberg, right? But I don't know if she the star. Let me see.
It says Squid Games Lee Jung Jae as male lead role in the Star Wars Acolyte. All right, so it's an older guy. It's not like the young. He's not a spring chicken. I don't think he's going. The question I'm asking about this guy is that was she been in some roles. Say it again. Joni Turner, Queen and Slim.
That's what it was. Queen and Slim.
So what is she gonna be? The female lead?
No. There's somebody else.
Oh, all right. So he gonna be a male lead, bro. So for them to announce that, I wonder if he's supposed to be like a big actor over there. I don't know. What do you think about that, man? You think he's gonna be the villain or?
I kind of thought this Amanda Stenberg.
Wait a minute, Stenberg,
female. So young.
Is she anything? I never heard her. Oh no, I said Stenberg.
The series takes place in the final days of the High Republic.
I mean, they about that. I don't know, bro. I'm always all right. It's like so now you start to mess with the lore a little, but I guess not. That's still the end of the High Republic is still like 100.
Phantom Menace. I think somebody was saying that this was like 60 years before events of the Phantom Menace.
Okay,
but it could be
cool.
earlier than that.
I hope they don't mess with the lore too much, where they trying to tell you like, oh, when one of these people trained Palpatine.
Or if like they do something and have Yoda, because Yoda got to somewhere show up, right? Yeah. So it's like Yoda was really a Sith or something, you know what I'm saying? Like
don't
like he was, or one of those kind of deal. But just like I say, this is supposed to be from the view of, like you say, of the Sith.
Yeah, this is supposed to be. So she's an acolyte, which I'm guessing is not necessarily a Sith Lord, and not even an apprentice, but just somebody who's like almost like a Inquisitor, not necessarily there round up Jedi all the time, but just like somebody that's an associate of the Sith, you know what I mean? Somebody who worked for the Sith.
They got force ability.
She's probably like a fallen Jedi.
Yeah, individuals, force abilities who learn from a more experience.
There it is.
They're saying that's a big get. The Squid Games actor.
It is a big get. Big get, bro. Big name, right? Special country.
So
I'm not seeing the Stenberg chick though. I'm not seeing that.
So Palpatine's part, because he was more from like the gutter. Like Palpatine wasn't really like a he wasn't really like a he wouldn't seem to fall under this kind of regime. He had Plus, he had a different kind of force. Like he wasn't just like stop a rock from falling. Like he had like different kind of a different kind of energy in what he was. But he was from like the mud, wasn't he? He wasn't like I was part. Like he became obviously the counselor and chancellor and all that shit. But like coming up, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong because like I am not experienced in knowing everything about Palpatine. But I just I'm under the impression for like I know that he wasn't really the seasoned guy that was like groomed to be whatever. He like came and took.
Yeah, he from what I remember, he became like a Sith later. He wasn't like trained from birth like Darth Maul was. But Darth Plagueis found him out early in his career. Yeah, Sheev was always like Sheev got all types of Sheev. She was She was a Palpatine. Yeah, he's a political climber. So I don't really have like how prior to him being a politician. Yeah, from what I know though is that man, like they got all types of books and stuff. They got a book called Darth Plagueis that explains like his come up. Yeah, that's what I know about him. But yeah, man. I don't know, man. I just want to know where the Sith gonna be after this. Is she gonna be the one that destroy him? Because remember, they're not supposed to make any contact with the Jedi for like that. So like they're technically not supposed to make any contact with the Jedi Council, right? Council is supposed to be big surprised about like what you mean that it's the Sith around here? You know, like they supposed to be shocked because they like basically none of them have ever really encountered a Sith. So unless you're telling me Yoda was like keeping secrets.
Wait. Run that by me again.
In the prequel, right?
Yeah.
Remember, they have not encountered the Sith.
Oh yeah, they were
centuries.
Yeah. Oh,
they have not. Like really, nobody alive is maybe with the exception of Yoda. Nobody alive in that council has really ever encountered. So they're treating it like they know the rules. They know about the Sith. They know the history of this, but they themselves don't have that much experience. So that's where I'm interested. Like, man, you either got to like
Jedi supposed to be powerful. Just say
man.
From when we know from the High Republic, it's a time period from when the Jedi were at their most powerful and the Sith had been supposedly wiped out. So this is almost like that section where they think Obi is the only one, right? Like there ain't no other Jedi. Like, we almost like New Hope for the Jedi's that they
for the Sith, right?
So Sith supposed to be like that. Yeah. Probably way worse than even that.
In their mind, there are no Sith. The Sith were destroyed, right? They lost the war. Like they're gone. Yeah, they were vanquished. Like so yeah, this gonna be interesting. Like how because I would guess Jedi she encounters kills. It's like how otherwise they would go back and once they tell the Jedi, like, hey, that was a Sith. That goes into the record books, that goes into the library. That's history, you know, that's their world. You know what I mean? That's like whoever we gotta dispatch to fight the Sith. Don't matter, but we got a Sith problem. That's going to become part of their history, which would then make that claim in the Phantom Menace null and void because they like. But anyway, yeah, Alkalite. I'm interested though. I'll watch it. That is a big get though, bro.
I never. Just threw one. You just threw one. It's like that would make sense why they were so. They were so not ready when it came down to that point. Like they had no smoke for Duke.
Oh, Steenberg. I see it now, man. The Steenberg's the black. She was the hatred you give. But yeah, go ahead. Nah.
The hate you give.
Yeah. Yeah.
When they got to that point, like, didn't even know that it was clones being built, right? All that stuff like makes sense. Like they was like, hey, we ain't even
not equipped. They was not equipped. You got to remember these were not Jedi who were at war with the Sith. They were fighting somebody else's war, which they had no business doing. They were fighting a war for the Republic. So they didn't really know they didn't know that the Sith were even capable of those type like clouding their entire vision.
This shit gotta be dark.
It gotta be, bro. This shit gotta be like they better have the best writers, right? Because this shit, remember, this is another show just like Andor outside of the Filoni, outside of the Mandoverse. This shit need to be dark.
It got to be dark. Like it can't be it got to be dark. See, that's why
they got her up there with the Star Wars.
With the R2D2. R2.
Yeah, this is wild.
Yeah, I seen it come. I was watching something. That's like the usual thing, but it feel like in Star Wars is a little different, even though it's really not. Where like they gotta let you know, like I've been a Star Wars fan all my life. You know what I'm saying? It's always everybody's dream to either be in it or directing in it or whatever it is. Because like you say, I could go a whole other conversation about this now. You know how Star Wars get, man. Like I told you, I could turn it. That shit could turn into a whole nother. Because now I want to talk about this era.
It's like, but yeah, because Nah, I'm with you. The thing about so the High Republic kind of pissed me off because it's kind of like it got my hopes and dreams new for the Old Republic. For the old meaning based off where the game is, the old Knights of the Old Republic, where we get Darth Revan, Malik. Sorry, what am I doing? Malik. So, which will make more sense because it ties into the Jedi Mandalorian. The Jedi and Mandalore had a war. Well, basically, the Republic and the Mandalorians had a war, and so it pitted Jedi, which explains why there's so much animosity towards the Jedi from the Mandalorians, because they had a war.
Yeah,
they had a war, and in this war, we got two Jedi, Malik and Revan, who became Sith, who basically led the Republic to victory over the Mandalorians, because Mandalorians was whooping. I mean, they was built for that. You know what I mean? Their whole planet was like they had Beskar first of all, and they just was just like trained every man, woman, and child was pretty warrior. I ain't gonna say man, woman, and child, but like they had a lot of warriors and weapons. They were good.
Well, that was a life they lived. That was a life they lived.
Yeah. This is that they was about that life. So you had the Jedi who fought them again. That's where you got the rise of Darth Revan Malik, and that's where you get the Knights Republic game. Revan, they lose Revan. He gets amnesia. He loses all his memory. He comes back as a Jedi, and Malik. That's what I'm kind of mad at the Old Republic resources on that. When I wish I would just tell a story about 1,000 years before the High Republic. But they got this High Republic, and but the reason they do that is because it's their own chance to just kind of want. But anyway, no, this part is
back. But they go further back, they can get to this.
They can get to this point.
Go back and then.
But you got a more interesting story in the
Old Republic.
That and that also would make more sense because it'll tie into where we at now with Mandalorian. Basically Mandalorian's trying to come back. We could do some old game House of the Dragon shit, like where we see the
that's what I was about to say.
Yeah. Where we see the Mandalorians in their glory.
Like,
and we see them in their glory. Here we still can see the Jedi in their glory. We can see all that. We're not that. We're gonna get the High Republic, which is supposed to be this era where they were just hitting on all cylinders. And it's like, felt like you kind of got that with the prequels, but whatever, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's supposed to be where the Jedi, it's their golden era, you know what I mean? The Jedi, that's cool. But yeah, you cut out a lot of things with that because again, unless you're just gonna trick off the lore, you still got to explain why were these Jedi interacting with Sith? You're naming the whole show Alkalite. So now you've already done that. You already put like a major, you've already kind of violated the lore, right? Because you like, all right, Acolyte means that there was a Sith and a Sith Lord and a Sith apprentice operating under the nose of Jedi who's supposed to be at their highest point, including Yoda alive. Damn, like you gonna make Yoda look that much worse? But I don't know. But again, I'm still interested because I do want a show about a Sith apprentice.
I'm gonna tell you everything that they've made after the last. I'm even including Georgia, maybe except for the first movie, Phantom Menace. And I'm not saying it's the best one of the prequels. But let me get everything that they've made since Return of the Jedi has been a deterioration of the Jedi, directly or indirectly. But to your point about the Yoda, when you look at things, you'd be like, y'all didn't understand that was happening. Y'all didn't, right? And that was and like they say, prequel era is kind of a sloppy Jedi era. It's a sloppy Jedi era, meaning like they were good, but they weren't like it's kind of like the King in back to House of Dragons, like they kept trying to get those knights to protect the king, and like they had a lot of those knights who had never been in battle. None of them had been battle damaged. None of them had any battle ready.
Wasn't battle tested. Yes, good point. Good analogy.
They had no action in that. So it was like the Jedi was, like you say, fighting a war. They wasn't really fighting something that they should be fighting. So they wasn't really trained in their ways that they needed to be trained, right? Or even like mentally ready for different. A lot of things have happened where it's like, outside of Luke walking back at the end of the damn of the Mandalorian, which is still like kind of Return of the Jedi time, or a little bit after that. But like a lot of things have happened where it's like, the Jedi haven't been as dope as like when you and I were little. The Jedi was the Jedi, right? We're like superheroes.
Yeah, and it's in a way, yes, I could agree with that, but in a way, I could kind of say like, all right, so here's the thing. This is where George, my God, this is where I would defend George in this matter because I agree with you. Everything since that movie has been a deterioration of the Jedi, and you're right, it is. But in terms of the mystique of the Jedi, everything George told you in the original trilogy, he was able to show you in the prequel.
Yeah, right.
Because you don't see that even through Luke.
Yeah.
Even through Luke, you're just kind of like trained. Okay, so like 2 movies of training, which equals in because you got to remember, there's this whole theory about the theory of canon is Dagobah. He spent years in Dagobah.
I was just about to say, I never really noticed that until recently. That in between those movies, there's time in between. I never noticed that there was a jump.
Time moves different in Dagobah, right?
Yeah, and there's a jump in time that he was there, right? Like meaning like Return of the Jedi takes place a long like years after. It ain't just like the movie 2 years. Right. It's a long time right after between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
Remember, he trained for like, I don't know if it was years, but it was at least a year. Like he trained like a long time, and because time moves different Force. Time moves different on Dagobah. So he was there for a long time. So again, but what I'm saying is we got all that. We got the first movie with his time with Obi-Wan, and then all his time on Dagobah, and then his time for the Last Jedi, for Return of the Jedi.
Sacrilege.
Yeah, erase that shit. Yeah. Before Return of the Jedi, where we got that all black version of Luke, where he was like,
he was toying with the dark side and the light, wasn't he?
Man,
he
was cooking. But we got that. But what I mean is, we see that guy and we like, ugh. It took us 3 movies to get that. But then when you get to the prequels and you see the Jedi in their glory,
no, you're right. You
like, you know what I mean? They like doing flips. They doing all this. You see all these over the top battles. You know what I mean? The Jedi clearly like, okay, all right, that's what I mean. But I get what you're saying too, where you also realize Jedi were all
narrative.
Yeah, they were always destined to fail narrative. They failed one, like you said, not battle. They had never been in a war. Again, going back to the Old Republic, those Jedi were battle tested because they just spent years fighting the Mandalorians in that war. That was a real war. Like then you had, and even I think in the High Republic they even got like some battles. These Jedi didn't have to deal with the Sith, didn't have to deal with any type of like Empire threat. You know what I mean? Didn't have to deal with any like external threat. They end up getting a beef with the Trade Federation. Like imagine that, like the Trade Federation, like that's something you should have resolved that if it wasn't for the influence of Palpatine and the Sith. That's a matter that they would have resolved literally in the beginning of the Phantom Menace when they sent the 2 Jedi there. They sent them there thinking like, hey man, wrap this up, man. Hey, bro, do something about the trade. It's the Trade Federation, man.
Yeah.
Hey man, look, we really sending too many of y'all, man. But since you got an apprentice, think about that. They sent him with Prince.
That wasn't supposed to be a
war. You know what I mean? They were supposed to send him there. The Jedi was supposed to wave their hand and be like, "Okay, you're right. You're right. Come back in public. You're right. Man,
Trade Federation
because of Palpatine pulling the strings behind the Sith that they couldn't sense because they had no idea. They had no experience with the Sith. Because of that, they were able to start a war, trick them into essentially fighting a war. So yeah, that's the point I'm making. Yeah, man, you're right. That was a deterioration.
And I may say that better because you make a great point. Let me say it better. Narrative. Like you could see and maybe that was the intent. Like maybe even like you say, because if you go back, if you watch the original OT and then you watch the first thing without knowing anything as you walk out, was like, yo, Jedi get bit. That's what they were talking about in the original trilogy. Okay, now I get to see Mace Windu. He done chopped off. He done knocked off my man's head. What's my guy?
Django Fett.
Django. He done took off. Django
and he beat the Emperor.
Yeah, he really beat him. He
defeated the Emperor. He was betrayed.
Yeah,
but the Emperor was done, bro. Like even when he threw the lightning at him,
this purple joint. He did have it like
still good. He won that. He was the only Jedi to do that. So betrayed by Anakin, but yeah, like they were gonna win, but just too much. It was like too much hubris, right? Like it was too much. Like because if your leader, who's Yoda at the time, is full,
yeah. So let me retract my statement. Narrative starts, and you actually make a great point. And what they did a terrible job once we got to the sequel trilogy was taking what I just said and then making that right. And once we got to especially the middle when they had, I'll just use the middle one, right? If you take the first one on its own and just watch it, it's like it's a good watch.
That's not bad.
is when you get to the point where you start trying to put it like it's trilogy. It's poetry, like we always say about George. So it's poetry, it's supposed to rhyme. And then, right, you know how George
that
is.
line, I'm sorry, bro. That line always gives you.
That line, great, right? And it's like it's supposed to run.
It's poetry,
and that's what I was saying about the going back to the kind of the time jump. We go and the first one, right? Phantom Menace up until Clone Wars, Attack of the Clones, of 10 years, and I think there's like another 6 for real in between. There's something like that. It's a big jump between Clone Wars, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith.
Oh yeah, Anakin. Yeah, it is because Anakin
he was grown.
He's like 24 years old. Or so.
Yeah,
so yeah.
I feel like that's the same thing. Like I say, it's poetry. I think that's. I know the fur between New Hope and Empire is probably not 10 years. But I think they got still big jump between. It ain't just like this is where we last left, right? This is like a big jump between that movie to this movie and then 1 to 1. But I say all that when you get to the trilogy, what they did with the Jedi, and like that narrative kept going. Like the Jedi was like now the Jedi messed themselves up. It wasn't even like a war that ruined the Jedi sequel trilogy. It was Luke's self-pity Jedi Order, right? It was his self-pity as opposed to something that actually happened. But the narrative still the same, like the Jedi, like their own version of the Jedi deterioration. Yeah. So it'd be good to see some like hold on, let's get this together. It's the Jedi, bro.
Yeah, you're right.
Stop telling these stories with the Jedi is so terrible. Let's get back. We got to get back to this point where, like, no, the Jedi was something. If I'm making sense,
that's what the books. That's
what I watch so much Star Wars stuff now, man. It's like I read the books and I ain't even read the book, but exactly what you're saying is what everybody's. It's the books, man. The books you gotta, and it's like they have a hard time trying to say that it's canon until they don't want to use it, right? We're not going. It's canon, but we're not gonna make no movie. We're not gonna use those. But that's a whole other conversation. But you think with the getting it back and starting to wrap this up, you think back to the D23 thing, we get they're just getting casted, but you think we might get an Acolyte trailer, like that, or people? It may happen there, some footage at least that obviously we probably won't see, but we'll see later.
I think we get an Acolyte trailer or a teaser. I think we get a teaser trailer because, like I said, we got all these castings. We know, man. Like I don't think they just released that dude's name for nothing. I think
facts.
They've known this for a while now that he was the male lead, and they about to drop this teaser now. Not saying he gonna be in it, but I think the girl gonna be in it. And I think the other chick, the British chick, gonna be in it. So yeah, I think we get an Acolyte teaser. Maybe they show some sets. Maybe they actually show her. You know what I mean? Turn around or like at least
some images, right? Like like how they did Fury originally for Secret Invasion, and they had him like looking at his grub, something like that, like a just something.
Yeah, I think didn't they release some pictures of the Acolyte set? Did you see those recently?
I ain't seen none of.
Yeah, they built it.
They probably do that on location, right?
Yeah, it was like out in.
I ain't seen you have some stuff.
Yeah, it was like some pictures, bro. It was I could have.
Yeah, I'll post host.
My bad, but yeah, I thought I saw it, man. Maybe not,
but if like I say, if we haven't, there's a good chance we'll be seeing them tomorrow.
I think so.
They'll leak out tomorrow or something.
Yeah, I think we get a trailer. We get a teaser trailer. Yeah, you got to start showing some type of concepts or something, man. From this is coming out. So you don't want
release. Is it 23?
23. It's 23.
They got 3 shows coming up next year.
They got Acolyte, Mando.
Acolyte come out before Mando?
I don't think it come out before, man. I guess we get that tomorrow too.
Okay, well that'll be are you right? 200 years before. I said 60 before. Roughly 200 years. That's 60.
They said that for Acolyte or the High Republic?
They say the High Republic is so it'll be the end of it, which could be right. In the current Star Wars timeline, the High Republic era is defined period of time roughly 200 years before the events of Star Wars Episode 1 Phantom Menace. Damn. At a time of peace and prosperity in the galaxy far, far away, the Republic is thriving and the Jedi Order is at its zenith. The individual Force wielders and their students exploring the galactic frontier and keeping the peace. Time is not without its cocks.
Yeah, they released a bunch of books about this, man, and they all fell flat. Like they put this shit out. Like this was like a big launch for them. I mean, nowhere, but that's what I understood from it is what you just read is time before prequels, and they just kind of like explore, like they just exploring shit, like they sending people out. So
yeah, man. So the number one thing we're gonna get is the damn release date.
Yeah, I'm like,
I think that's happening.
I guess that's what we're gonna get.
Yeah, we're gonna get the release date. I would guess that we're gonna get some images too. at the very least. Like you say, maybe a teaser, maybe it might be a quick video. We're gonna get something that's gonna be really image kind of like give us like, hey, yo, this come. They go a video, let you know this come.
I would very much like to know the tone of this show, what tone they're gonna set with this show. I really want to see that because Sith, bro. You know what I mean? This is the first time we get a Sith-led television show or movie. I'm with that. I want to see this.
Yeah. So I can see, like I say.
Yeah.
My bad. Go ahead. But go ahead.
No, I just want to see if, especially like where her origins are. Like, is she a Jedi? Or is she always a Sith? Or is she, you know?
Yeah, and it's like, is this an era? Would this era even like have like? So let's say like I heard something. Could this era be like Cat Bane's domain? You know, different things where like, no, this was when they was really.
It was the Wild Wild West, pretty much.
Yeah, because it's like we dealing with force wielders, like so. Like, there's always that thing you got to figure out. It's like who finds them first, and was there, like you say, was this a birthing ground at the time where the Sith was like we looking for people? Because just because you force wielder don't mean we know you're gonna be with the Sith. You're gonna embrace the dark side. So are we finding them young? What are we doing? How are we getting back to the point?
That's a good question.
How are we getting back? I hate when we do this because then we start to get to the point. Okay, what story? I need this question answered. And then you watch the show.
You end up not getting that until like.
And they wanted nothing to do with the show. Like you say, I mean, we how much did we did that from? We had like 2 or 3 questions from Obi, and it was like, look, I just need to know why you wanted to tell Luke why he needed to kill him. I needed to know that, and we got to the end, and that I never knew that, right?
You didn't figure that out.
The only thing I figured out was that you was like the baddest Jedi in history, and you just failed to end the Empire twice, right? Like you could have smoked him 3 times. You could have smoked him anytime you wanted.
Sure, it's not aging well. It's already not aging well.
So it's like. That's we remember it's like, oh, I only got it. They're already kind of like they're already trying to get I don't want to say cash grab or whatever, but they already, hey, we know we can have these known characters. Okay, cool, man. It's good to see Hayden back. I just need these couple things and I'm good. Like I'm not even trying to have a sympathetic of the Sith show, right? I mean, like, or let me see this one person's conflict. Like, does she want to be a Jedi or does he want to be a Jedi? You know, like no, like how did the Sith grow in the weed? I know how Hydra did it. You know what I mean? Let me know how Hydra did it. Like, is the Sith growing like Hydra? And